I've had a long-term love affair with lemons. This is a world of colors, intensity, condiments, tahini, hummus, muhammara, everything together. So it's totally informal, the opposite of French cooking, right?
Yotam Ottolenghi, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be on your show.
It is so great to have you on the show. Yotam, we live in such a fractious, such an uncertain world. We're also leading busier and busier lives. Do you sense people are craving food that comforts?
Yes, I think people are craving food that comforts, but they also crave cooking and being in touch with their food. So, we're surrounded by so many options to eat out, to get takeaways. It's become easier and easier. But the act of cooking is the one thing that really kind of gives you the gratification that you don't get otherwise. And now a bit of coriander. What I'm trying to do is trying to get people to cook, by which I mean not cook every day from scratch the most complicated meals, but kind of lower the barrier for cooking, use condiments and assists and shortcuts and repurpose things. So just as long as you get in there and cook, I think that's a real solution to this chaotic world that we live in.
You say how we eat is also very important, and you cite eating from a bowl being particularly comforting. I can almost imagine you, Yotam, sitting on a couch, diving into a nice comfort food bowl of pasta. A lot of the comfort foods come in bowls, right? Why is that?
Yes. Well, I think first of all, I always think that when we eat, us modern humans, when we eat, we have created these kind of degrees of separations from our food. Our ancestors, and not only our ancestors, some people eat with their hands, and that gets you really up close with the food. We've used a knife and a fork, right? Like we have created separation. I'm not saying we should not be using a knife and a fork, but lifting something up like a slice of pizza and bringing it to your mouth with your hands is a comforting experience. It brings you up close with the food. And I think a bowl of something, a bowl of soup or stir fry, just gets it much closer, and you can really experience this with all your senses. With the nose, with the ears, and with the mouth, obviously. So I think that's part of it, like getting the bowl really close to you, getting the steam, getting the spoon in there, and eating is comforting.
Have you got a favourite bowl-based comfort food?
Oh, I'm a good Jewish boy. I grew up eating a lot of chicken soup, but I wouldn't just eat the one I had growing up. I have every version of chicken soup or chicken broth that I can think of, whether it comes from Asia or the Middle East or Eastern Europe. I'll take that. I'll add my noodles or my pasta and my vegetables, and I'll have it. I'll be a happy bunny.
You've suddenly made me very, very hungry, Yotam. You've written and spoken about how we often overthink our relationship with food, thinking more about what's in the food, proteins, carbs, fats, than the food itself. How much is this detracting the enjoyment, the pure enjoyment of food for us?
I think for me, it's really disturbing where the conversation is turned away from just the joy of cooking, the sensual. Cooking and eating is a sensual experience, and we're losing that sensual aspect of food by constantly overthinking it. I mean, sitting around a table and digging into a delicious bowl of something it does not involve the brain, it involves all the other senses. But if we start asking ourselves, is this good for me? Should I be eating this? Should I not be eating that? You lose the joy, and you lose your compass. You forget to understand what it is that you want and need. And I think this is the worry in our world. We're constantly bombarded with these nutritional messages. We forget what our instincts tell us. And I think our instincts are really, really strong, and it's what is important with food.
I believe, Yotam, you tried intermittent fasting last year, and it didn't quite turn out the way you're expecting it to.
Yeah, so again, yet another example of what I was talking about. Like I was reading, like everybody else, how good it is to skip meals, how good it is to take the 12-hour break, 14-hour break, 16-hour break of food, depending on who you're reading. And I thought, that's be super easy for me. I will stop eating at 8 o'clock at night. I'll have my last meal, and then I won't eat before 10 o'clock in the morning. So effectively, I'll only skip breakfast, and I'll be lean and mean. And And then I realized that it was great for a few days. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I can do it. I can lose weight. But I found myself arriving at lunchtime really, really hungry and frustrated and angry. So I'd go like, okay, now I can compensate for the meal that I haven't had at breakfast, and I can just eat more at lunchtime. So I'd load my plate with loads of food, eat up, feel really tired. You know, when you eat a lot during the day, you get tired. And so I'd compensate for the meal that I'd lost. So effectively, I gave up the diet after 2 weeks because I realized all it did is disturb my natural balance. My natural balance was a normal sized breakfast, a normal sized lunch, and a normal sized dinner. And all of a sudden, I've lost track of how I'm doing things. And I give it as an example of how we are all feeling, rather than going back to basics, cooking what we love to cook and eat the way we did when we were growing up. We're bombarded with messages, and I think like put the messages aside, eat what you love to eat and eat in moderation, and you'll be absolutely fine.
Hear, hear. So, Yotam, you're coming to Australia next year. What do you most like eating when you're on our shores?
You know, I'll be visiting almost every main Australian city, and everywhere I go, I come on these whirlwind tours, and I spend one night in every city, and I hardly ever have time to stop. So I always feel very deprived of good meals, but I do have great seafood. I have great Asian food because you've got such an incredible Asian population, people that emigrated to Australia, so Vietnamese and Thai, and we've got amazing, incredible bakeries all over Australia. I love Australian baking. You know, all of them, the viennoiserie, the cakes, the mini cakes, the big cakes. I love all of that. And so when I come, I hit the bakery in the morning. I go and eat either in a good Italian or a good Asian restaurants at lunchtime if I can, but then I have to skip dinner, not because I'm doing intermittent fasting, don't get me wrong. It's just because I'm on stage, you know, talking to the audience, and then I don't want to eat after that.
Yotam Ottolenghi, apologies if you can hear my stomach rumbling. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in February.